Hello there, fellow summoners. Mad Dog HT here, and we are going into one of the Carina challenges. This is the first one that I did when it came out on the first day, and I went through the list, and I'm like, oh, the Mystic Dispersed. I feel like this one is probably the most easiest, and it was very enjoyable, simply because, you know, 3 stars, generally you'll probably have a lot at rank 4, so as long as you don't put a mystic on your team, you're pretty much good to go. I looked at the map ahead of time. I was originally going to bring in this team, but then I decided to throw in my Guillotine 2099, who is only a rank 3. I'm right here, I'm just looking for some poison immune options because I'm taking the path that starts out with Spiderman. And the reason why I need poison immune is because there's an Abomination. So I needed somebody to deal with that dude. My Guillotine 2099 is only a rank 3, but she is still plenty capable. I wish I did have her at rank 4, and you'll see why in the video. But she does great. She has really awesome damage output when she hits that 100 combo. And so yeah, this is the team that I'm going with. Nick Fury, Guardian, Void, Torch, and Guillotine 2099. So that's just kind of scrolling through, just doing like a double check, looking at my 3 stars, thinking if I should change it up at all. But this is who I'm going to bring. So first up we have a Spiderman, and the reason why I went down this path was because there are less fights. And you know, the less fights that you have, and I feel like other than the Spider-Man fight, which was a little bit annoying, which wasn't terrible because Nick Fury kind of shuts him down. But besides that fight, there wasn't really anything too difficult on the path, with exception to the Captain America World War II, where you basically are losing, I think it's like 1% health per second, where you have to do a ton of damage quickly. And, you know, with the weakness on, because you're not Mystic, it makes it really hard to do enough damage fast enough. And I did have my Guillotine 2099 ramped up, but you'll see it just barely wasn't enough. But so we're gonna go in first with this Spider-Man, and you know, Nick Fury, I'm gonna try to keep him out of his life model decoy, simply because he doesn't have a lot of health, so any blocked hits and stuff, it's gonna take its toll. So I'm just gonna try to get to 5 tactical charges, which I have with 2 special ones, and then I'm gonna try to keep those up so that he cannot evade me. And then where possible, I'm going to try to keep on some deep wound bleeds, but the light end combo bleeds are pretty good. They're 148, 149 a tick, so they can do quite a bit of damage. And preferably, I'm going to try to push this guy to his special 2, just because you can avoid block damage. Normally I block like the first 2 hits of his special on those web shooters that he puts out, and then I dex out the last 2, but if I can push him to L2, no block damage, right? And I know you can fully evade Spider-Man's L1, but that's just how I do it, and it's pretty safe. The damage is pretty minimal, but if I were to mess up on the L1 evade, basically it's going to be lights out and we'll be done. So I have 10 tactical charges now. Can't evade. I'm going to keep throwing some special ones and then some special 2s here and there. Basically whatever I can do to push him to his special 2 is what I'm going to try. And yeah, this guy's going down. You know, as long as you keep up your tactical charges, and then you can throw off the big L2s and get those stuns and push him to a special 2. It's a pretty good strategy to get this guy down fairly easy without, you know, dealing too much. Rank 4 Nick Fury as a 3-star he can put out some decent damage. This isn't like a, you know, none of these fights are going to be super quick. I mean, it takes me about a little under 40 minutes or so to take out this whole path. Nothing is too difficult. It's just long, just because your damage is gimped to begin with. You're working with 3 stars on top of that. So, but yeah, Nick Fury, I do get the solo, and I believe I get him down without triggering the LMD. So I'm pretty low on health here, but I believe I do finish him off before the block damage takes me under well, to 0, and then activating LMD. Yeah, I'm gonna finish him off, I think, just right after this special too. So yeah, Nick Fury is plenty capable of soloing this. Not much health left from all the block damage, but yeah, 247 hits. It's a lot on a Spider-Man, but once you get those charges up, he's pretty normal. Just simply, you can parry, you don't have to worry about evade, all that good stuff. So now I go in here with Guillotine. I'm gonna activate the lifesteal, simply because I'm not planning on getting below 15%. I'm planning on building up a combo, and then I should have plenty of opportunity to get a bunch of mediums in and try to get me some health back that I might take from chip damage. Now again, my Guillotine 2099 is only a rank 3 star. I thought about taking her to rank 4, but yeah, so look at that. So I take a combo, and I thought to myself, I should just restart the path, and I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna restart because I don't want to fight that Spider-Man again. And so I do trigger the regen, but the regen is only half of what it normally would be, because I did activate that pre-fight that gives me the health steal, but I won't get that health steal until I get to 100 combo. So yeah, it didn't turn out so good, but we do recover. This is not a hard fight. I just made a slip up. The block damage on this guy isn't terrible, but wherever possible, I'm just going to try to keep baiting his special 1s and hitting some special 2s to get extra hits in. And yeah, you don't have to parry this guy. It's pretty easy to keep pushing him to special 1, having him throw it, and then retaliate with a combo. So yeah, so far so good, besides that first hit, and we're almost up to 100 combo, and then we're gonna start doing some health steals. I think it pretty much helps maintain my health pretty much where it's at, around 30%. I do take some block damage here and there, and the health steal is pretty small. You'll see in just a second that it's nothing crazy. I think it's even less than 1% per steal. Okay, so we're at 100. I got the lifesteal activated. Yeah, it was like 9. Was that 9? Yeah, 9 health points. So not a lot at all, but it will help over the course of this fight. Nothing to where I'm going to get back to full or anything. I can't remember how many hits this took, but you think like, oh, I'm at 120 hits and he's only 84% down. Well, the damage starts to ramp up significantly. I'm getting over 200 of that energy damage per hit. It's almost a 300 now, and it's just going to keep ramping up more and more and more. And yeah, Guillotine 2099, she has some great damage output potential, and yeah, she can make some of these fights pretty quick. As long as you finish with an L3, the other fights that you do, she will make quick work of them. Damage is really, really solid, and she's just got great utility as well. So yeah, she's gonna take this guy down, And I will let this play out, and I'll join you back at the end. So we're just about to finish up on this guy, and yeah, we're almost getting, it was almost getting up to 1k per energy damage on those hits at 225 combo. So yeah, the damage is good. We end with an L3, so we're going to carry over our 100 combo to the next fight, and yeah, we definitely need that. We'll show you how that works out. But so next up, we are going to face the Quake, and I'm going to bring in my Nick Fury, and I believe I do put on a health potion for this one. Definitely, you know, whether it's needed or not is questionable, but you can see, I think one health potion, a level 4, I think, or a level 3, yeah, level 4, pretty much heals up these guys to full health. So yeah, you get those through, I've been getting those through the solo events, and I have a ton of them, so it's kind of nice that the level 4 health potion can take care of a 3-star champ. And yeah, so now we're going to go in to this Quake and try to get to more than 15 tactical charges, which is not the easiest thing to do if you don't have a Fury active. But yeah, you know, as long as you're good with evading her special ones, you're you know, whether you need to go full unblockable or anything like that, you know, it doesn't matter that much. I try to push her to her special 2 just because you can get out of range a lot easier. We're gonna get some intercepts in and just a lot of bleeds. And this fight goes significantly faster than the Spider-Man fight. Spider-Man fight, I can't remember how many hits it was. It was over 100, and this is going to be over 100 as well. But yeah, so I did end up accidentally blocking the first part of that L1, so I'm going to get Earthquaked, and we're going from 69% to 6. So I just barely survived that from activating the Fury and the LMD getting knocked off, which would have been fine. But let's see, I'm trying to remember if I happened to survive this fight without activating LMD. I think it's really close. And once the LMD is on with that Fury, all the damage from Nick Fury is ramped up significantly, which is good. But at the same time, you're dealing with really low amounts of health, and so you can't really block, can't make any mistakes. So I'm just gonna try to hold on as long as I can before I do knock that LMD off. See, at 2%, I think I do. Trying to remember if I end up getting this off without LMD. I think I do trigger LMD, but 1%, yeah, there it is. Alright, so now we got LMD going. Health is slowly draining, but this fight is almost over, and one more L1, I'm gonna be fully unblockable. Here we go, boom. And that's gonna make the rest of this fight, which is pretty much nothing, significantly easier. But yeah, so Nick Fury, if you have him, he's a solid option. I did have AA slated to be on the team. I think he could do really well. Just anybody that can do big damage. Get your big damage guys, bring them out. Yeah, and you'll do fine on this challenge. I think this is the easiest one, and I feel like it has a decent amount of skill element to where if you play well, you don't have to use any items. Maybe a few health potions, but man, I've been selling revives and health potions for so long now. Yeah, it's been kind of sad. So it's kind of nice to actually need to use them. So here we go. So here's where I wish my guillotine was a rank 4. It is a rank 3. I'm gonna be losing health like crazy. So I checking out to see how much health I need. Don't need 5,000, so I go and I put in a level 3 and a level 2 health potion. That tops me off, and I'm going to activate both the power steel and the crit, I believe, one, because I can't heal, so the life steal is not going to do me any good, but the power burn and the guaranteed crit on the 20th hit is going to help. And I come so close to getting this guy down, but you really need him to be aggressive, throwing his specials, and you need to be super aggressive. And that first hit, that didn't help. I missed the parry. I've been doing that a little more frequently than I would like to admit. I'm not sure what's up with that, but yeah, so we're gonna try to do a lot of draft back shorter combos and intercept, and try to get as many hits as I can in, and where possible try to land an L2 with being the 20th hit. And I think I do that on the next one, and I probably could have done it on the first, but yeah, you're trying to be super aggressive. So here we go. Boom, guaranteed crit. All of those are critting on the L2, which is nice, getting some decent damage. So far he's being pretty aggressive, throwing his specials, which is nice. And it's coming down to the wire, and I can't heal. And granted, I used up my charges, so definitely I can't heal. But here we go. I think I was trying to get this to be at the 20th, which it carried over, and I was able to get a lot of those crits going, and then I missed trying to get him to beta special, and he died. He kills me with just a smidge of health left. So we're gonna go in with Nick Fury, and I do have deep wounds maxed. So if I can get to the point where I'm more health than him, then those bleeds are going to do 1%. And yeah, boom, there we go. He dies from a deep wound bleed, and we take care of that Captain America in World War II. So I mean, as far as the fights, you definitely need to have somebody to counter that one, just because you got to go fast. You got to put out big damage. If you need to ramp somebody up, make sure that it's a ramp up before the fight, because you can't do a lot of ramping up within the fight. And then we have Hulk, and we're gonna go in with Nick Fury, and we're just gonna smash this guy out. I think I put in one level 2 health potion, so that's 1 level 4, 1 level 3, 2 level 2 so far. And whether or not that was actually going to help me much, yeah, probably not a ton, but I'm basically going to try to get to be fully unblockable, which, you start out with charges, 12 charges, because he's Avenger. Throw my first special one, it's going to give me a second Fury, but I'm back down to 0 charges, so I have to throw off 2 more special ones, and then I'll be fully unblockable. And then it's just get the bleeds, throw off L2s, I prefer to push Hulk to his L2 just because it's easier to just get out of range. It's only 1 dex. Sometimes I mess up on the special 1 dexes. I mean, doing fine here, but just my preference is to push to L2 where possible. But now he's fully unblockable, and with 16 tactical charges, and you can just wail into him. Try to get off those light enders, get those big bleeds off, and this Hulk is going down pretty fast. I'm gonna bait an L2, and then I'm gonna retaliate with an L2, I believe. Yep, boom, it's gonna stun him. Get some bleeds on. We got the deep wound bleed going, the internal bleed, and yeah, he's just bleeding away pretty quick. And I've taken minimal damage this whole fight. You know, definitely didn't need the health potion, but you know, it gave me a % or 2 to deal with. And yeah, we're about to bleed this Hulk out. I think one more special 2 is gonna do it. Here we go. Do I go for it? Yeah. And he is down. So Hulk's pretty easy. Nick Fury. So he's taken 3 fights so far. Done awesome. And then last up we have Luke Cage. Gotta use some energy. I use some small refills to get this path done. I believe. Yeah, I just use small ones because there's not that much left. And so for this one, it's stun immunities, enhanced special 1 and 2, so they're going to be unblockable. For this one, I'm going to go with Guardian. Guardian worked really well here. Obviously, Nick Fury wouldn't do too great. I mean, he could do it. It would just probably take forever because of the bleed immunity from the Luke Cage. But I'm just going to try to keep this guy going with his special 1s. Easy to get out of range of and punish. And I believe I'm going to get to special 3 and then do a special 2 and see how much that damage does. And I think it takes about half. Or it looks like I'm going to go special 1 first. But yeah, Guardian has excellent damage output. And then just make sure you throw a special when he's not going to go indestructible. That's pretty much the only thing that you really need to worry about here, is you don't want to like have like a big special ready and throw it when he's going to go indestructible. So just keep that in mind. Everything else, this is a pretty simple, easy fight. I think here I'm going to throw special 2, boom. So it took off a decent chunk. But I'm like, nah, I need to do more than that. But basically, you could, you know, that was about 20%, a little over 20%, by getting to a special 1, throwing that special 1, and then throwing a special 2. So if you could do that 5 times over, pretty much get this guy down. But I'm gonna try to get to a special 3 now to get more charges, and then back to a special 2, and that does a significant amount of damage. You'll see that coming up. But yeah, none of these fights again are too difficult. Bring in champs that you're comfortable with to have the utility to deal with any block chip damage, and that can put out a ton of damage, and you'll be fine. You know, champ that I'm just thinking of now that would be pretty decent would be Dr. Voodoo. Dr. Voodoo, his power burn is not limited. It's not like the amount that he burns is not different by 4-star, 3-star, 5-star. So a 3-star Dr. Voodoo on his power burn would do a ton. You can put a bunch of Lolas on and get a bunch of poisons going. I think he'd be good for, well, you can't use Dr. Voodoo because it's a mystic dispersed. Excuse me, ignore all that comment. Don't use Dr. Voodoo because he is not eligible to be used on this lane. But yeah, there's a lot of champs that you can use. Just really depends on who you have ranked up. I don't have a ton of my 3 stars ranked up, just because usually I don't have a ton of extra tier 3 basics. But yeah, so we threw that special 2, and that special 2 did a ton of damage. Yeah, it took over 50% of his health. So yeah, it worked out pretty well. You can see I tried to get it squeezed in that L1. It wasn't going to do that much damage to begin with, but it did hit when he was indestructible. So I lost a little bit of damage there from my special, but we're just going to get back to a special 2, and it should be plenty to take out this Luke Cage. And you can see I'm pretty much, it's not a full yellow bar, but 100% health. So Guardian does really well. And how many hits was that? 159. Not terrible. And we're going to move up to basically the island that has 2 mini bosses, and you have either Black Widow or Storm or X-23 and Phoenix. And I went the X-23 and Phoenix route just because I brought Void. Void is excellent to use against anybody that heals, so I'm gonna use Void on this one. It's got energized, enhanced abilities, so the more she triggers regen, the better. And with her having more power from the energize, her regen amount is gonna be higher, and Void just works really well. You just gotta make sure that she's throwing specials, which I believe at the very beginning she's pretty good at throwing them. But there is a point in this match where she becomes really stubborn, and I'm kind of backed up against the wall, but I'm able to get out. I think I end up blocking her L2 finally. But yeah, bait the specials, put on the debuffs, win the game. So that's the whole point here. Void does really well, and once you get Fear of the Void up, this is a max sig 99, so pretty much Fear of the Void will be up most of the fight after that first application, because the amount of debuffs that you can put on, plus the timer that puts them on naturally, can pretty much keep the Fear of the Void cycling. And I think I do get like double Fear of the Void here and there, but I'm just trying to make sure I do some shorter combos and bait that special. Pretty easy fight. I love using Void in content, so the fact that we can use him here and he's a great option for this fight. He's got that damage over time, and he's a great option for the Mordo boss. So yeah. The other champ that I brought on the team was Human Torch, and I brought him specifically for the Mordo boss. And I actually ranked him up. I think he was just at rank 3, brought him to rank 4. Why not? But you'll see I didn't do too well if you stick around for that fight. But yes, here's where she's starting to become a little bit stingy. We do get a block in the corner, finally throws it. And we're trying to get ourselves out, throw a special 1, boom. So the damage is not like crazy from the dots, but it is doing a significant amount for, using a 3-star. Other options, if you brought, I think Domino would be really well. If you brought Domino with like Red Hulk, whether or not you bring the full synergy team, I don't know if I'd do that, but because I'm not sure that Massacre would help significantly. I mean, he could probably do some of those fights, especially with the incinerates. I don't know, maybe just an option to consider. But yeah, Void is doing well. I think it's going to be around 100 hits, which for a lot of the other fights I was doing 150, 200 hits. Yeah, so Void does really well for this one, and I believe I use Void for the next one for the Phoenix as well, just because she has that power gain, and I want to try to shut that off because she's going to be throwing a lot of specials, because the Phoenix, I believe, also has Energize. We'll see that in just a second. Yeah, Void 102 hits, so does a really solid job for that X-23. And next up is the Phoenix. So I believe this one has Energize as well, and what? Enhanced ability. No Energize. Enhanced abilities, Mystic Ward. Not a big deal because we don't have Mystic Champs. So we're gonna bring in Void, and she's going to be throwing a lot of specials at the start. You want to keep letting her throw those specials, and we're going to try to get some Petrifies on that mitigates some of that power gain that she gets back. And yeah, so there we go. So you see that one Petrify helps quite a bit. She doesn't get straight back up to L1, and I get a second Petrify on. So now we locked her down, and yeah, we're just going to try to spam as many specials. I think I actually do a lot of L2s, try to apply the weaknesses and the degens, and I think I get pretty unlucky. I'm not even sure if I remember right. I think all of the stings on these L2s, they applied, no, there's one. I got both a weakness and a degen, but I think the rest of them are all double weakness, which isn't terrible, but I want more buffs, or not more buffs, more debuffs, because that's going to do more damage over time. So either double degen or a degen and a weakness is what I'm looking for. And you're going to see I'm going to get a bunch of double weaknesses, which, yeah, so there's a double weakness. And you might say, oh, I should just spam L1s, but I just felt like I was going to get a little more value, maybe, with having more debuffs on that were unique. And she's always really willing to throw those specials, so I know that the stings are going to get put on there. So yeah, that's kind of the route I went for this one, and it worked out pretty well. I probably could have cycled more Fear of the Voids in, but yeah, not a difficult fight at all, but you do want to make sure that you try not to push her to L2, because especially if you don't have any Petrifies up, and then she goes and throws a special one, she can go shoot up straight up to L3, and that would not be good. But yeah, she's almost down. Definitely takes a lot more hits, compared to that X23. I'm reversing a lot of that regen. This one I'm not, and I am doing a different strategy with the L2s. Look at that, 4 weaknesses. Come on, give me a degen, for crying out loud. There, we kill off her Phoenix, and boom, she's dead. So now we're going up to the boss. So we haven't used any revives. We've used 1 level 4 health potion, 1 level 3 health potion, 2 level 2 health potions, and I'm gonna go in with Torch. I'm gonna apply the pre-fight Flame on, and you're gonna see straight out the gate I get whacked. I'm like, ugh, because I was planning on being able to do some blocking, but when you lose like all of your health straight at the beginning, that doesn't go well for that. And then I just mess up trying to dance around and whatever. Like, look, boom, like, ugh. I thought about doing a force quit and restarting, but I'm like, nah, it's alright. I'll just try to play this out and see what I can do with Torch, Torch and Void, because both are solid. And as long as he's throwing specials, you're pretty much good to go. I can't build up a ton of smolders. He does have that power drain node on you, where every like 20 seconds you get power drain. So I can't get up to a special 3 to build up those extra 20 temperatures, or 20 extra 2 incinerates. And I believe it's not too long after this where, yeah, right there, I just miss my rhythm, and I eat an L1 to the face. I'm like, ugh, that sucked. So we're gonna go in Void. Do I heal him up at all? Yeah, I put on a level 3 and a level 2 health potion to top him off. So for this whole path, I've used 1 level 4 health potion, 2 level 3s, and 3 level 2s. So not terrible. Stuff that's in the stash ready to use. And we're going to take this guy down with Void. The one nice thing with Void is if you get the fatigue debuff on him, you can parry and then combo him without having to trigger the astral evade, which is just nice to have. I think I'm going to try to not parry him unless I really need to, or to build up the combos. When he goes into his power gain phase, man, he just turtles up. You can heavy him in the corner. Then I eat another combo. I'm like, oh, come on, am I gonna die again? And no, we do squeak this one out with such little health. Void is such a solid option for so many fights, just in general. And so the fact that he can do a lot of damage without having to get combos in, block, and he's gonna control Mordo's power gain. Yeah, he's a solid option for this if you're comfortable doing that. I used Void for the Mordo in 6.2.5, that boss. He does really, really well there. He can kind of just dance around, mess around with his power gains, and so there I was looking like, do I have that fatigue up? Yep, I had it up, so I could parry him and hit him while he was stunned. But yeah, I will let this one play out. Nothing too crazy here. I will solo, well, it's not technically a solo, but I will get the assist, almost a full solo on this Mordo. Nothing too crazy with the strategy here. Keep him power locked. Put a lot of debuffs on if I can get to a special one before I get power drained, and just dance him out. When he has that power gain on, you're pretty free to heavy him, particularly if he's in the corner. Every once in a while the AI will catch you and trip you up, but generally it's nothing that I am too concerned with trying to do in the corner. So you can see here, I'm gonna hit him, boom, heavy. Yeah, so you can pretty much do that all day. But yeah, I'll check back in at the end of this fight, which is not too short coming. Alright, we're just about done with this. I have so little health left. I wish I didn't take that combo to the face earlier in the fight. Would have made this, I think, a lot quicker, where I could have done a lot more parries with the fatigue. And now he's got 2 petrifies on, 2%, 1%. I'm like, come on, just die. And there we go. Take Mordo out. Let's go collect the rewards for this path. And yeah, this path was not too bad. I enjoyed the challenge on this one. The rewards that you get, I think, are well worth it. I mean, I only spent a couple health potions, but boom, Mystic Dispersed is done. You get 15,000 6-star shards, plus 3 tier 4 class catalysts, and then a Cyclops, both blue and red, which you basically need to do that Mike's Revenge one, which, you know, most probably have Cyclops, but in case you don't, that's the way to get them. And we're gonna go open up a 6-star, and I'm just hoping for like to awaken one of the champs that I have that is at rank 2 that I can take to rank 3. That's pretty much what I'm hoping for. We're just doing a basic, even though I did get the 15,000. We'll open up some more 6-stars shortly after I do a couple more of these challenges. And look at all those Doc Ocks, and boom, it lands on a Sasquatch. I'm happy with that. Brand new champ, he's solid. We'll see how much I take him up in the near future, but thanks guys for watching, stopping by. I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys have a good time taking this out. Hopefully any of this was helpful, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.